Hello and welcome to the Prince of Wales Stadium here in Cheltenham for this vital Challenge Cup match between Skirlaugh and the All Golds. Of course, Skirlaugh, Northern Conference side, amateur club as it were, looking for a big scalp here this afternoon against the All Golds. Talking to the home side, of course, a very much unchanged side, just the one player going out as Joe Martin makes way to the side that narrowly got beaten by Barrow last week in a real great game up north. Of course, it's back to Cheltenham this week. The trophy's here. Let's hope the All Golds can get into the fourth round. After a long anticipated wait, Rugby League returns to Cheltenham. Competitive action in the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup. Amateur side Skirlaugh, of course, were in town, and it took just 7 minutes to break the barriers of the northern side's defence. Phil Calburn running in the first try of the game underneath the posts, whilst Matt Bradley then converted one of the 12 attempts he would have to make during the game. It took just 5 more minutes for another try to come. Really good play in the middle. Saw a brilliant team effort scored. This time it was captain Steve Parry who managed to shake off the defender before also putting the ball underneath the post, as the try was easily converted by Bradley once again. It took over 20 minutes for the next score to come, but it did. Substitute Toby Topham did well as they run through the centre and an easily worked ball was put over by the All Golds. Skirlaugh managed to get themselves some points on the board. The try was scored, but then this wayward effort took the score to 4 for their side going into half time. Second half and more of the same from the All Golds. Brute force making its way through that defence. Courtney Davis managing a second try, and then very quickly a third, making himself the first player to score a hat-trick in All Golds history. A day of records being smashed, as afterwards Steve Parry managed his third and only the second player to score a hat-trick for the All Golds. The game, of course, finished 66-4, making it the highest scoring game in All Golds history. Lee, Nanoskin well avoided with a comfortable win.
Yeah, certainly. Whenever a professional team is playing an amateur team, you know, you've got to do the tough stuff first, and I thought we did that early doors, but what were pleasing was the way we threw the ball about and scored a lot of points, because it's very easy to just get sucked in and try and play up the middle against teams like that and just show how big and tough you are. But I thought we threw the ball about really well, and obviously scoring a couple of early tries always helps.
Yeah, you're like a kind of hot tin roof during the game, though. You always strive for perfection.
Yeah, of course. You know, I've got to look at us going forward. I'm not looking at the here and now at the moment. So some of the things in that game wouldn't be good enough in some of the league games that we're going to play. So that's what I've got to look at. At the end of the day, Skirlaugh are in National Conference Division 1. They're not even in the Conference Premier. So some of the stuff today wasn't good enough. It sounds strange, but some of the stuff wasn't good enough. And against a team in our division, we would get punished for that. So I've got to look at that, and there's certainly a lot of improvements I can take out of that game.
On to Tuesday's draw, it's always going to be asked, would you prefer a big stadium or would you like another possible amateur side to get into that fifth round?
To be honest, I prefer one amateur teams at home again. Let's just go as far as we can in it. It gives us an extra game then, and you know, every team in this division will say the same. They're not going to win the competition, but let's go as far as we can. And you know, if we can get another amateur team, that takes us a round further, gives us an extra game, and some even more bigger fish come into the draw then.
Of course, the 2 games before the league campaign starts on Good Friday, you all revving up for the South Wales Scorpions?
Yeah, there'll be the Challenge Cup game before that,
yep.
So that'll be our focus. Obviously, there'll be the draw on Tuesday night, so we'll know who that is. And then there'll be the next Challenge Cup round before that in 2 weeks' time. So we'll prepare for that. It'll be different if it's an amateur team. It could be Bradford or Lee as well. So the preparation will be different over the next 2 weeks. But then we'll focus on South Wales after that. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here for the league season. So preparations will go in towards that first league game, definitely.
Have you been made aware that today's the record highest win for the All Golds, as well as Courtney Davis also pipped Steve Parry to the first ever hat-trick.
Yeah, I heard that before. No one's ever scored a hat-trick before today's game, so that's pleasing. I think this team going forward, the way we throw the ball about, will probably beat a lot more records as we go along. So that's great. The team and personal accolades are great for the players.
Big thanks.
Thank you very much.